My name's Terry Paton. I'm a Flash game developer, more specifically an indie Flash game developer. So I work for myself, producing content and games that I choose to make. Occasionally I do client work, publish games to the Android market, I publish games to Adobe in-market. I've also submitted a game to BlackBerry Playbook as well, so I kind of do a lot of things with Flash. I've created just over 100 personal games and about 50 for clients. Creating computer games is a multidisciplinary sort of task. You need to, especially as an independent like myself, where you're making everything yourself. Often I'll do the music, the coding, the marketing, the game design itself, doing game design documents, so you've got to describe what you're going to build. All the graphics that you've got to put into the game, you've got to think about, plan, then beta test, so that the levels are actually playable and fun. So there's a lot to it. Yeah. Flash is a really easy product to use. I can prototype concepts or ideas that I have very quickly, and I can also get it out there to a mass market very easily. Flash has helped me to be more successful because I've been able to get my game out to a huge amount of people very easily and get responses back from them very easily about what type of games they enjoy, what kind of things I'm doing wrong in terms of making my games and how I can improve them. It's also helped me be successful in terms of making ad revenue from my games. Most of my games are free to play online, and I fund what I do by that ad revenue that comes in. So without Flash, using some other technology, I'd struggle, at least along the line that I take, to make money from what I do. Well, what I love doing day to day is creating content. I don't necessarily see myself as a coder. Unfortunately, I tend to come across as one, but I see myself more as an artist who uses a technology that happens to be handy at the moment. I do graphics and music and coding, and I also involve myself socially in Twitter and a little bit of Facebook and stuff like that. So my day-to-day is a very jumbled up, mixed up sort of thing, but the main focus of it is creating content that I can share with other people and then getting their feedback back. The design process of my games generally starts out as an idea that I have. I'll be playing something on an Xbox, on a Flash game that's online, or on an iPhone or an Android phone. But then that will inspire me, and I'll start sketching in my sketchbook. I'll start scribbling down little ideas and expanding it out. And then if the idea captures me enough, I'll start developing that further into a full game. Generally the process is I'll sketch like 10 pages of stuff and ideas and get that down. Then I'll start experimenting in Flash in terms of a rough game engine. And I find a sketchbook, a physical book to draw in, a really powerful and helpful tool in developing games. One of the problems is just jumping straight into code. You don't really think too far outside the box. You get trapped inside your code very quickly. So I find by using a sketchbook, I can go off on tangents, and I'm not burning coding time, and I'm not exhausting myself on a keyboard. I'm actually able to experiment and look down different tangents of gameplay. One of the great things I love doing is also sketching up how the game might look. With my current game that I'm working on, Deep Sea Diver 2, I'm going for a hexagon layout and for the tile sets in the game, and this is quite a different take on games that I've made before. So it was really important that I had to sketch out what I was doing, and then how would that look and how would the graphics perhaps look. So I had to come up with some rough scribbles, and then what I would do is go to Photoshop and then start playing around with that and mixing it up, trying to make it into something that I could see being a full game. The Flash community is enormous and incredibly supportive. If you have any problems, you can pretty much just put a shout out on Twitter or do a web post, and people are very active and really responsive to anything you've got out there. You can pretty much just Google a problem and the Flash answers will come up, because so many people are active in the Flash community. It's just insane. It's must be one of the biggest communities out there of coders. The only problem is it's so easy for me to do what I do with Flash that it's hard to leave. It's so easy to get all these third-party APIs and everything that's just there, and the community is just enormous. So it's difficult to turn away from Flash. Yeah.
What? It's funny.